Hi everyone, Trina here, and this is Origins of Soul, and I believe it's 7.2, and we had left off on the angels and the warrior angels, and we were getting ready to get into that phylum of archangel, and we had just covered the dominions, the principalities, thrones, and the powers. We've gone through almost all of the levels of angels so far, so we're getting pretty close. So we're getting ready to get into the warrior archangels and the guardian angels of the power of 9. So I have a feeling straight out of the gate, Kent Nichols, this one's probably for you. So we will see what it has to say about the warrior angels. Okay, the warrior archangels are a breed apart, and there are many of those souls in human form now on our planet today. Thus, it is imperative to address the arc of spiritual evolution for this very important group. This is a very important group of light beings. When warrior angels descend from the higher worlds into the third dimension as part of their own arc of human evolution, they are often profoundly committed to a cause. This is because at the higher levels, they were part of Archangel Michael's forces. Thus, these people are strong-willed, honorable, duty-bound, and absolute in their dedication. Often drawn to military service, they may be swept up into a fiercely protective service, a championing cause, protecting a country, or a religious cause or a movement. Whether in the arena of war or in another sphere of influence. However, because of the intensity of their focus, they rarely allow themselves to form deep human attachments or have romantic love. They consider such a human connection to be a vulnerability. So often their deepest friendships are with their comrades in arms. The archetype of this group is Sir Lancelot, the brightest warrior in King Arthur's court. Lancelot was brilliant, committed, and noble, the best of the best. And although he served Camelot for the good of the people, he held himself aloof from them and above the human vulnerability of relationships. Until, that is, when he fell in love with Guinevere. This created a moral dilemma for him, for his honor was sworn to Arthur. So it was only by discovering that he too was an imperfect human being that Lancelot was then able to forgive all of the other less perfect human beings that were around him. The story perfectly illustrates the path of the warrior. Archangel, the soul that strives with absolute dedication and perfection in all he does. Yet, because this soul does not recognize compromise as an option for himself, he often has little tolerance for those who do not have the same kind of resolve. For eons, these noble beings have been protectors of the human race, and they have been completely willing to die for that cause. Yet, these highly committed, noble angels tend to see life in black and white. Someone is either with us or against us. Something is either right or wrong. This polarized approach comes from millions of years of warfare. So the arc of growth for these souls is to realize that there can never be a winner in the game of life until each of us invokes the power of love. Ultimately, the warrior archangels must learn that life is not about judging others, being perfect, or fighting wars so that the battle will be won. Rather, it is through the law of forgiveness that our wounds will finally be healed and we will come back into balance with others and ourselves. Ultimately, the arc of growth for the warrior archangel who takes birth on earth as a human being is to embrace the process of becoming truly human. This means accepting all of our human imperfections as part of the process of spiritual evolution. Learning to forgive ourselves first and then our neighbors is part of the course curriculum. Even though some errant souls may be less evolved than we are, in this way we teach ourselves humility. But forgiveness is no small task. Yet, this is the only way to restore the law of unity and to heal ourselves and the world. Only by loving our shadow back into wholeness can we heal the wounds of the imperfect human self and then transform into the magnificent being that we have always been. The guardian angels and the power of 9. The ninth order of angels are the spiritual guides of the human world, who embody the power of the numbers 3, 4, and 9. This means creativity and manifestation and the power to use their abilities to assist human beings in connecting with their higher self. This helps people complete their incarnation in the worlds of form. This is the order of angels most concerned with the affairs of living things. And while there are many categories of angels within these ranks, it is from the ninth order that our personal guardian angel comes. When guardian angels or spirit guides are seen by the living, they may either appear ethereal or human. They may dress in a way that appeals to our personality, or in a way that reflects a former lifetime. These beings usually do not have wings, but they are capable of transcending gravity when needed. Since flight is normal in the 4th and 5th dimensions, I was born with that memory, and I literally jumped off my roof when I was a small child, 3 years old, because I was arguing with the Lord. I'm like, I can too fly. He's like, no, you cannot. I was like, oh, yes, I can, because I clearly could remember it. But he was trying to explain to me that I was in a different body, and I didn't quite get that yet because I was still only 3 years old. So this whole being able to fly in the 4th and 5th dimension, embrace that, connect to it, use your imagination, start to fly again. Tinkerbell, pixie dust, that's all we need is faith and trust. So fly again. Remember. So, since flight is normal in the 4th and 5th dimensions, we often hear stories of angels with wings. However, this may also be due to their immense auric field, which extends in a large arc behind them. The job of the ninth order of angels is to assist human beings who are incarnated on earth to make connection with the higher self. In this way, they inspire others. When the same angels finally begin their own cycles of incarnation into the physical world, they are usually drawn to inspiring others through arts, teaching, or some form of healing. These are the souls who are our doctors, nurses, paramedics, hospice workers, psychologists, neuropaths, and social workers. That's funny, because I am 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm 5 of those. That's hilarious. They may also be chiropractors. I know that intuitively since I was born. Rehab therapists or home care providers who protect and treat children. Hi, Cody. And the elderly. The 9th what, baby boy? Well, come here. You need some love? Hello, sweetheart. Yes, hello. We're talking about the angels, and now you want to get involved? Are you my angel? Huh? Are you one of my angels? Yes. Did you guide me? I think you do. Oh, thank you for your paw. You are such a good boy. Oh, yes, you are. Okay, we're going to read about the angels now, okay? Okay, so sorry I lost my place. I love you, good boy. Yes, I do. Yes, I do. You good boy. He really needs some attention right now, and I don't know why. You good boy. Okay. Okay. Where were we? Okay, 9's assist. Okay. When these same angels finally begin their own cycles of incarnation into the physical world, they are usually drawn to inspiring others, teaching, nurses, la la la. We went through that already. Okay, so home care providers, and they protect children and the elderly. The 9th order angel can inspire others through any of these professions, assisting every person as they encounter every person they encounter to more fully connect with their own spirits. Well, hello, Zodi. You next, baby? The 9th order angels are often highly creative people who may sing, dance, write, act, paint, weave, or sew. They may be photographers, makeup artists, hairstylists, or filmmakers. They may be puppeteers, musicians, performers, and since helping others is what fulfills them, they may also become ministers, ambassadors, Peace Corps workers, or work with animals. Naturally social in nature, they often marry and have families, and may be very involved with community or friends. They detest conflict and almost never go into the military. They love environments of harmony and joy, and I have only met one 9th order angel who was interested in war. Well, what, Zodiac? My dogs are talking tonight. Come here, Zodi. Come here. Many members of this group have ended their human incarnational cycles in recent centuries, yet continue to serve in this capacity with their mortal brothers and sisters who still reside on earth. Come here, baby. This means that as spirit guides, they are well equipped to understand the incarnations and the intricacies of human dynamics, unlike some more elevated angelic forces who have long dwelled in the higher realms and never taken on mortal lifetimes. Most of the classical stories that we hear about angels helping someone come from encounters with this order, for these angels are hardworking, and they are hard at work with many souls, helping their charges from behind the scene. As personal spirit guides, the 9th order angels are deeply compassionate in their function as an overseeing guide. We are reminded of the same diamond-shaped pattern seen in the higher orders. This pattern reappears with this group of angels, describing perfectly their role as a support system for the incarnating soul. At the top of this diamond shape is the pure white light of the person's angelic twin, and at the bottom is their current human incarnation. And on each side of them are the 2 spirit guides who are always there to assist the adventurous incarnating soul as it goes about to fulfill its life mission. Each personal guardian angel is deeply aware of past history and lifetimes. They understand all of their respective charge, as well as that person's current life plan. But keeping their charge on track is a daunting task. Trying to guide us when we're blind and we have amnesia and we can't hear and see, that might be pretty hard. So, their guidelines are clear. They must remain invisible. They must wait to be invited in. You know, they've told me this my whole life. My whole life. They said we cannot interfere. We have to be summoned. We have to be invited, because we cannot interfere with your free will, and they won't. So if you feel you need support, you need to ask, and ask your guides, your spiritual family, your guardian angels, your angelic twin, your higher self, oversoul, any name you want to give it. It doesn't matter. It's just you and the charges that were sent to watch over you while you were blind and dumb and in the flesh, existing in human form. But they won't interfere. So remember, ask. They're yours and it's part of you. So there's no harm that could ever come from calling upon your support system, your guardian angel, your angelic twin. These are part of you. So, but like I said, and you must raise your frequency, because the higher you can raise your frequency, the easier their information can come into your body, because it's like a radio, and you got to tune your antenna into the right station. And when you get into a vibration that they can reach, because see, they're lowering down their vibration to meet you, but they can't get all the way down here. Most of them won't come into this realm because they run the risk of losing their vibration and taking on the density of this planet in the vibration. So they don't want to do that. So they stay at a certain level, but at that level, we can truly communicate. So meditation, breathing techniques, listening to good music, playing with your puppies, anything like that. These things will get your vibration into a resonance that makes it easier for them to communicate with you. So be still and know that I am. And this is the truth of that being still and knowing. It's raising the vibration through stillness and perceiving and listening. You're literally tuning in to these higher vibrations. And we have to do that to truly receive this information. But it's really easy. You do it when you're daydreaming. So don't make it bigger than it is, because it's a natural process. It truly is. We just, by not using it and not paying attention to these very fine, subtle frequencies, we lose a lot of the ability to perceive them. But the more you ask and the more you want to receive them, you will start to do that. Some of you in this group, I know you're already profound at it, but many people are like, how do I do this? It's just practice. Pay attention to those little urges, those little flashes, those little thoughts, those little feelings. You got to start paying attention to the subtle frequencies, because it's always in a whisper when you really hear from spirit. It's always gentle, and it's always it's hard to explain because it comes in so many different ways. But you really do have to pay attention, or you're going to miss 90% of what they're sending to you. So, and this is the picture of what they're showing for the guardian angel and the two guides over the human that they're in charge of. And above is what they're showing is the white light, or the angelic twin. And that star right there, that exact symbol, I have literally been drawing this over and over again since I could first draw the symbol. So this is on like all my notebooks on when I was a little kid. I even had it on my painted on my shoes. I've always had that symbol on my, I've always drawn that symbol, and I always would draw spirals, and I would always draw checkerboards, the matrix, and I'd always draw rainbows, and I'd always draw lightning bolts. Those were like my consistent symbols that I would always draw when I was a child, and I never even knew what any of them meant. And now when I come to think about what symbols did I always draw over and over and over again as a child, I started looking at my old stuff and thinking about the stuff I loved to write, and it was just profound. I was drawing pi. I was drawing the spiral, the golden ratio of life. I was drawing the matrix. I was drawing the electricity, the power of the God of this world, the electric God, the God El, Elohim, the rays, the rainbow, the 7 rays of creation, the 7 Elohim gods, which are they're angels. That's what they are. So it's insane. We have this knowledge buried so deep within us, and we just don't have any awareness of what 90% of this stuff means. It's just like how our body works, and we're not consciously aware of how everything's running inside of our body, but it's just operating beautifully because it understands everything. So, okay. So, where were we? Each personal guardian angel is deeply aware of the past history and lifetimes of their respective charge, as well as the person's current life plan. But keeping us on track is a daunting task. We must ask. We must invite them. We must ask for the angels to be allowed to facilitate a deeper spiritual connection with us. They can become so much more active as our celestial companions if we complete a circuit of balance with them. And a lot of this is cooperation and asking and inviting them to work with you in cooperation. None of this is about worship. None of this is about giving your power away. This is about, I love you and you love me. And when you love someone, you will always do anything you can to work with them, support them, and help them. And these beings were signed specifically. They're part of you, and this is their ultimate charge. And you know how sad and frustrating it would be to be this kind of a being and never ever be allowed to be invited into the life of your charge? Because most of us have never really sat down and said, I really wish to connect with my higher self. The part of me that was before this body, I want to know more of that. And those were the things I started doing when I was very young. And then I started doing it again as soon as I was like 18, 17, all the way through my 20s. I've been working on this for a long time. And it really does work. You really, they're waiting. They're waiting to have a more active role in your life in a communication aspect. It's not about domination or control. It's about love and support. And I think this is one of the truest, most hidden definitions of true self-love. It's understanding all of yourself and learning to communicate, acknowledge, and love all of yourself. So, the angel in everyone. This is where we will pick up on the next one. I love you guys all. I know this week, it's been a kind of a rough week. We lost a dear friend, Jerry Runk. And I know it was hard and it shocked many of us. And my deepest condolences and prayer and comfort be sent to his family and his children and his wife. Much love to you guys. I know this has got to be tough. But no, many of us are already hearing from his spirit. And he's all right. And he knows so much more than most when they pass away. And this is what he said. And he said that he can affect things from where he's at. And he said, all of you who shed tears and prayed and wished him love and good wishes and Godspeed to the heavens. He heard every one of you. And he said he was flooded with visitors and love. So, you guys, thank you for sending so much love. It is such an honor to know such a high caliber of loving, compassionate humans. So thank you for being here and giving me the privilege to know such wonderful, amazing beings. So, from the bottom of my heart, much love and favor to you all. And remember, every day we have here together is a gift. And that's why it's called the present. So I love you. I'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye.